listening to Wired Study Tips. I'm Cody Blair.
More motivation tricks for sluggish students. Fun fact, the smell of textbooks can be used to anesthetize rhinos. I made that up. But seriously, if you're finding it hard to get motivated to crack the books without the aid of a car battery, jumper cables, and a pair of wet sponge earmuffs, read on. I've got 5, count them, 5 motivation techniques to get that classwork done when you'd really rather run. Number 1, act excited. Get pumped by acting pumped, especially when you're so not. True story, your brain won't know the difference. Well, part of it will. But the part that pumps out the happy hormones won't. Your brain thinks, hey, she's jumping around and grinning like an idiot. Maybe we won the friggin' lottery. Oh, yeah! And then it fills you full of the body's very own brand of overcaffeinated psychological joy juice. Endorphins, baby. Don't believe me? Well, first, let me just say I'm a little hurt. I'll recover, but still hurt. Second, try this experiment and prove it to yourself. Set a timer for 2 minutes and grin like a possum eating fish guts out of a wire brush until that timer goes off. I guarantee you'll feel happier by the time the buzzer goes off. And that was just by fake grinning. Fake full body celebration brings on an even bigger happy rush. Plus, it really amuses your dog, not a quality you normally find in motivation techniques. Secondly, chop your work into chunks. Even the most masochistic students can get demotivated by a huge pile of work. When confronted with a monstrous mound of schoolwork, we collapse into the fetal position and refuse to give it a go. So don't think about the huge pile. Think about one minuscule molehill, just a tiny, very doable piece of the pile. You don't have to read, for example, all 7 volumes of the Giant Compendium of Skin Diseases at one sitting, as outlined in your syllabus. All you have to read is that next page. Once you're finished with that, pat yourself on the back and then tackle the page after that, one step at a time. Another motivation technique? Number 3, make a plan of attack. When it comes to motivation technique, this one's a doozy. Know why zebras have stripes? No, this isn't a joke. It's so they don't stand out from the herd when fleeing from predators. A hungry lion sees a wall of kaleidoscoping stripes and can't pick out a target. Our brains, when confronted with a big mass of work, can be like that lion. We don't know where to start, so we end up not starting. That lion needs spray paint. A day-glow orange zebra makes an easy target. Do the same thing with your huge mass of work. Mark out chunks of the workload that can each be done in an hour or less. Writing term paper on your to-do list is a massive wall of work. Chop it up into day-glow orange zebra work chunks. For example, first, come up with term paper topic. Second, find 3 resources in the library. Third, read 3 chapters from the first resource, etc. Doing that makes it much easier to acquire your next work target and keeps you from sitting and spinning your wheels wondering what to do next. Bonus, set an estimated time for how long it will take to complete each work chunk, a time that you will have to push to achieve. For example, on my to-do list, I find that my past self has written, find 3 solid resources for your term paper in the library in 30 minutes. If you can. When I get to the library, I set the timer on my phone and I race to see if I can't beat the 30 minutes. Got it done in 27 minutes flat? Yes, take that, past self. Not only will you work more efficiently, you'll develop an extraordinary sense for how long it takes to complete tasks. Plus, if you're anything like me, you get very competitive and past self is so smug. We hate him, precious. Number 4, inspire yourself. Read a magazine article, listen to music, watch a YouTube video that gets your gears going. It doesn't have to be about your topic as long as it gets you stoked. I personally will, confession time, watch a great UFC match. Totally gets me pumped. You might get jazzed by watching babies laughing or NASCAR, monkeys spackling tourists with monkey spackle. Whatever gets your motor running, watch it. Most students use more chemical and less healthy methods of revving themselves up for study. Red Bull. Stick with the all-natural method. Watch monkey spackling videos. Motivation techniques that involve YouTube videos and wean you from your caffeine addiction have to be good, no? You know, it just occurred to me that one great way to motivate yourself, I'm eating right now, probably shouldn't be doing that in the midst of the podcast, but it's so good. A great way to motivate yourself, as I was saying, might be just to head on over to studyprof.com. That's studyprof.com. That's my personal location on the web, and read some of these posts that will motivate you to be a better student. Just a hint, just saying, try it out. The fifth and final motivation technique, prepare your work area. I learned long ago that any excuse is good enough to avoid paying bills. Dagnabbit, the checkbook's out in the car. I'll pay the bills tomorrow. I would put off bill paying as long as possible, unless I had gotten together all the necessary tools. Stamps, addresses, amounts, envelopes, pens, checkbook, etc. If it was all ready to go and all I had to do was sit down and start writing, I'd get it done. This is one of those motivation techniques that will work for your studies as well. Make sure you got everything you need to get that study project done before you start. Lay out your tools, turn off all the distractions, provide yourself with food and drink, and get cracking. It's much harder to shirk that work when you're all prepped and ready to go. It helps you avoid those easy outs like, "Oh, fiddlesticks, left my book up at school. I'll remember it tomorrow and get started." So the next time you're too mopish to move and your motivation has melted, try these 5 motivation techniques. Pretend to be jazzed, do the next little bit, divide the work into chunks, get outside motivation, and prepare to prevail. Do these, my friend, and your motivation misfires will melt away. So what are your motivation machinations? Let me know in the comments. To put more study hair on your cerebral chest, amble on over to studyprof.com and be sure to register for our free email study skills course. I'll float you a new, improved, family-sized study skills epiphany once or twice a week via email. That's all at studyprof.com, studyprof.com. Wired Study Tips is hosted by the Engineering Student Services and Academic Programs Office at Texas A&M University. Find out more at essap.tamu.edu. That's essap.tamu.edu. For Wired Study Tips, this has been Cody Blair.